We are live. Good evening and welcome to episode 109 of the Houston Roundball Review presents folks talking sports. I am KG Kris Gardner, owner and co-founder of the Houston Roundball Review. And with me is Willy Gibson from WTG Sports. Will know sports. How are you, sir?
Going well, gentlemen. How are you?
Noel and Andy Yanez from Pawd Slama Jama. Mr. Yanez, I'm going to give you the floor. First of all, how are you, young man?
I'm doing good. I'm still I got a good workout in. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good today. This Sunday.
So let's get into it. Let's do more of the post-mortem of Saturday's flame out that the man himself said the offense was embarrassing. Let's talk more about the Cougs 36-13 home Big 12 home opener loss to the TCU Horned Frogs. Andy, have your thoughts changed at all? Have you calmed down any from last night's Let's Rage Cougs?
No. the opinion is the same, and it's not even an opinion. It's just a matter of fact at this point. When it comes to the University of Houston fan base, the alumni, there's zero trust. Kris, the game, 24 hours, or still, I guess technically 23 hours since it kicked off. Anything associated with Dana Holgorsen and a video of Dana Holgorsen, a quote of Dana Holgorsen has been blowing up with fans responding not so nice things about the head coach. The frustration is at an all-time high, which kind of interesting. To me, it seems like they're very much more vocal than they were after the loss to Rice a week ago, and the biggest reason for that is because of the lack of competitiveness, specifically when it came to the offense, which again is supposed to be the specialty for Dana Holgorsen. Non-existent against TCU, and then to compound the fact, post game, without directly saying it, he said it's a rebuild year. The talent's not there. The difference between a group of five and Power Five is the depth, and it'll take some time. That's a direct quote. Some time to build out the depth, and a lot of fans have very matter of factly pointed out that this is now a quarter into the season. 3 games are in the rearview mirror, so a quarter into year 5 for head coach Dana Holgorsen.
Mr. Gibson, you're on notice. Miss Wanda says she can't wait to hear what you have to say about the UH game.
All right. Wow. I'm still that comment. Like the talent isn't there.
The depth isn't there.
The depth isn't there. Who recruits the depth?
Exactly.
Who brings in the depth?
That's what fans have been saying.
Yeah, I don't understand. I saw something. I saw, I think it was you, Andy, that post game. I think a tweet that you posted. He said, "Well, it's not the play. It's not the play call. It's not the play call." So you're throwing you're throwing 18 to 22-year-old kids under the bus that you recruited, that you brought in, that you saw as the future of your program. But now, well, hey, it's not me. It's not. I don't know how old he is. The 51, 52-year-old man. It's the 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kid. And whose job it is to put the kid in a position to be successful. It's not me. It's them.
Correct.
That's a problem to me. That's a huge problem for me.
That's the problem. And as Andy says, Will, we said a lot. We were so fired up last night. We had profanity. Let's Rage Cougs last night. We had some words tossed out there, but in the loss, the 36-13 loss to TCU, the offense did not score a touchdown.
Really?
For the first time since 2014, a span of 109 games. The offensive guru.
That's what I was waiting. Yep.
So folks have said, I love how colleague Jerome Solomon from the Chronicle said, the offensive guru didn't guru versus TCU. It's on him. It's y'all know how I feel about it, but we heard all this. We discussed it last season on FTS. he began laying the foundation for this first year in the Big 12. He lowered the bar, lowered the expectation, was trying to, well, the first year in the Big 12, it's going to be tough. It's going to be this. The depth is going to be an issue. We don't have the depth to compete and hang in with those Big 12 programs. As was pointed out last night by fans, the Cougs had 2 years to prepare for this first year in the Big 12. 2 years. He's had 2 years to recruit Big 12 talent. He's the coach. He's in charge of the talent. The buck should stop with him.
It does. It does.
So it's up to him to put his players who he recruited, to put them in the best position to succeed.
Question. What conference is Rice in?
The American
Athletic Conference, led by Commissioner Mike Oresco.
The conference that Houston just left?
Yes. 3 months ago.
So what was the excuse last week? Because if
overlooked them.
That
was the excuse, Will. We overlooked them looking for TCU.
Yes.
Okay. So we overlooked Rice, looking forward to TCU, but we lost to TCU, and it's, we don't have the depth. Like,
yes.
Wait.
It's excuses after excuses. And this is where we're going to go for these few minutes that Mr. Yanez is able to be with us this evening in episode 109. What really frustrates me is the administration, the people in charge, have a great example on campus. A few examples, really, but in terms of money-making sports, of a coach who takes accountability for his program and succeeds with the talent he brings in to his team. I'm, of course, speaking of Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin Sampson is no nonsense. Kelvin Sampson, sometimes I've had friends say, man, it sounds like Coach is hard on y'all today, man. In the press conference, he was pretty rough on y'all. He's straightforward, brutal, to the point. He wins, Will.
Yep.
If they lose, it's his fault. I didn't do the job. I didn't prepare them. Or he also says, give credit to the other team. They were better than us tonight. We're going to lose sometimes. We're not going to win every game. He's made all those comments. He's been in the Big 12 before, too. He said, we're going to the Big 12. Big 12, you know what? In basketball, is KU's conference. We're going to compete against KU and other teams in that conference. But you know what? We're going to compete. My guys are going to be prepared and let the chips fall where they may. We are now in a power conference. We are a part of a big boy conference, and we're going to act like it. None of this, we don't have the depth. We overlooked this opponent. We didn't have this. We don't have that. The football building is going to be a game changer. 2 years from now when it's complete, it's going to be a game changer. All these excuses that the administration continues to tolerate from Dana Holgorsen. And that's where I'm getting to. It's their fault now. Because here's a comparison. We had it tossed out there last night by some viewers. Folks hate Dana more than they hate Tom Herman. We had fans last night want to bring Tom Herman back.
Wow.
Okay. That's where it is now. Look at this. And we touched on it before. Andy, you, Miss Wanda, folks watching us on YouTube, X, Facebook. Dana is not liked by the fans. And he's losing them more and more by the day. By these performances, these excuses, lack of accountability that he takes himself. But it would be okay and tolerated if they were winning. They're not going to win a lot this season. So the frustration with him will perpetuate and continue into next season when they bring him back for a second season, barring some shock to me that they let him go after this year, which I don't see happening. So then next year, the second year in the Big 12. What's going to be the selling point then? Well, we're in year 2 of the Big 12. Come see the coach you don't like. Come support us. Come spend your money for the coach you don't like.
I would say it's not even that they don't like him. They don't have confidence at him
Eric Gus better way. They don't have hope in him. They don't believe that he does not instill hope in them that he's the right man for the job to help the Cougs win and compete for what will championships in the Big 12, which what they said they were going to do in the Big 12 is compete for championships. And next year, who's joining the Big 12 next year?
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime. Complete 180 from Dana.
Yep.
So you fans
Chris,
love
how many years has Coach Prime been at Colorado?
3 games.
3 games.
3 games. And what's their record through those 3 games?
3-0.
And
where did he come from?
Have some depth issues.
How
many games did the Buffs win last season?
1.
And Dion came from what level? Will was he in another group of 5?
No.
Jackson
State. No.
He was at Jackson State, HBCU, FCS.
FCS.
Yet he went to another Power 5, now Power 4, but at the time still Power 5 conference. Brought in talent, ran off guys who did not fit his system.
Yep.
Took advantage of the first year rule for coaches, head coaches, to transform the roster complete overhaul.
Yep.
He's 3-0. Was a hell of a comeback win last night over a rival. His son, Shedeur Sanders, should be in the Heisman consideration because he carried that team in the fourth quarter in overtime.
Yep.
That 98-yard drive was a thing of beauty.
Correct.
There's a difference between Dana and Coach Prime. There's a difference between Shedeur and Donovan Smith. Both teams have shaky offensive lines. Shedeur, hey, fellas, I'm going to take some hits. I'm going to get sacked. But you know what? We're still going to win this game.
Yep.
Donovan Smith, line was shaky. Took some sacks. I'm going to complain about my receiver dropping passes. I'm going to be late on throws. And we're going to get 0 touchdowns offensively with me in charge.
I don't blame him. It's the law of the lid.
I don't blame him.
It's the law of the lid. His coach is doing that. So what do you expect him to do?
That's where I'm going. He sees his coach do that on the sideline, bitch, gripe, yell, be pissed off at players. Donovan Smith, well, he's the leader of the team. What is it? What's the line from Remember the Titans? Leadership what is it? Reflects leadership, captain, something like that. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
But it reflects leadership. Well, who's leader of the team? It's Dana. Chris Pesman, Tilman Fertitta, President Couture, some media who still back him probably still back him today after the trash he put out last night.
Attitude reflects leadership.
That's it. Thank you, Andy. Attitude reflects leadership, Captain. That's it. Attitude reflects leadership. That's it exactly.
What was the crowd last night?
36,000. It was
worse than the UTSA game.
And the weather was bad, and that's a reason. Houston
it wasn't
people,
that bad, Chris.
No. I'm going to say Houston sees clouds. Some fans, it's cloudy. Oh, nope, can't go.
Okay.
It rained a little bit before the game.
Friday was bad.
It cleared up before kickoff by like 2 hours.
The delayed kickoff, you said?
No.
Oh, okay. Rain.
It had rained through. It was done.
Gotcha. Okay.
About an hour or 2 hours before kickoff. But that's enough for folks. Y'all, it's already hot, and it might rain too, and we're outside. Oh, no, I'll watch it on TV. Wow. We got some of those.
37,862 people were in attendance against UTSA. And granted, this is the Big 12 opener that they have been hyping up the entire offseason. 36,049 were in the stands.
But how much were they hyping it this past week? As these skills pointed out to me,
they couldn't.
They didn't hype it up.
Even if they tried. And you know what were the comments? What all the replies to their promotions were about last Saturday's game?
You lost to Rice.
Hold on. Did anybody in the stands have any love your Houston gear on? Oops, my bad. Sorry about that.
Nope.
My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
Well, it's not available for sale because we did not realize that it'd be such a hot ticket item.
I'm tripping. Forgive me.
Okay. But Coach Prime Colorado is the it program in college football right now. The it program. They got flaws. The defense
National
is
team.
shaky.
Yeah.
Their defensive line is shaky. Their offensive line is shaky. They lost their best two-way player. Well, Travis Hunter, one of the best players of the country.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders still found a way to win that game last night.
Yeah.
Good teams find ways to win. Great teams find ways to win championships. Bad teams find ways to lose. The Houston Cougars are a bad football team. At some point, it won't be. I hope it is. I wish Tony M was on here. I hope at some point Dana is let go this season.
Wow.
It won't happen. I'd be stunned out of this world if it happens. I don't see it. Here's an indication, another indication, Will.
Okay.
Miss Wanda. There's Tony M right
Tony's
there.
here.
There are fans who have doubts about the Cougs versus Sam Houston State this Saturday.
Wow.
That's the state of UH football under Dana Holgorsen. Andy believes it's going to be a get right game.
It should. It
Well,
should
be.
be.
Should be a get
It
right
should
game.
be.
But there are fans who now have doubts about Saturday's game against Sam Houston State. The line of spread is only 13. That surprised me. It's 13. Cougs by 13.
Okay.
Contrast that Oregon is favored by 20 over Colorado.
Right.
That's two ranked teams. that
Yeah.
matchup.
Yeah.
That's 20. It's Colorado going on the road. Oregon's a hell of a program, hell of an offense, and I think they will exploit to a greater extent Colorado's weaknesses. But the Cougs are only 13-point favorite over Sam Houston State, a team that will, in 2 games this season, have scored a total of 3 points.
3 points. Total?
Total.
So 0-2, I take it.
Yeah, the 0-2, they lost to BYU 14-0. Even Air Force like 14-3, something like that, 13-3. So they've allowed 13.5 points per game. They've scored 1.5 points per game.
Interesting. Wow.
So, okay, Clazel says, and we touched on this possibility as well regarding the uniforms. The Titans are blocking any sales of the powder blue uniform, the shirts, etc. This is what I've been told. Okay. We thought that was a possibility. Then you should have figured that out months ago. What can we do to work with you guys, the Titans, so we could sell this merch? This shouldn't be an issue in the season.
Okay.
Tony M, some folks wonder this too. I'm not convinced Dana concerned about actual winning. He's collecting a check. That's what he's doing. He's collecting a check.
Wow.
He's not going to say no. Tilman, I don't want the money, Tilman. Yeah, the offense was embarrassing Saturday, but don't pay me this week. He's not going to do that. So it's on Tilman and that small group of people to realize this man is not the right person for this job.
And maybe yesterday, maybe Saturday was at the beginning of an avalanche, because we know for a fact that Tilman Fertitta and Renu Couture were inside the stadium. Be curious to see who they were around during that game. I'm curious to see if they were able to hear the boos that rained down during the third and fourth quarters of that game.
Yeah, well, fans booed.
Really?
They booed that sorry performance in the second half. And they should. And another sad thing is the Big 12 in football this season is not very good so far.
Yeah.
Missouri beat Kansas State. Granted, it was a 61-yard field goal. Hell of a kick.
At the buzzer, yeah.
Iowa State is 1-2, lost to Ohio.
That was whack though. That field goal was good, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cincinnati lost to Miami of Ohio.
Rifle.
At home.
Yep.
First-year head coach, though, Will.
Yep. Scott Satterfield. Yeah.
at Cincinnati
Yes,
in the Big 12.
Yeah.
South Alabama just took the Gundies behind the woodshed.
And took that 700,000 with him.
Yes. In Stillwater, 33-7. The Gundies, he's going through 3 quarterbacks, a rotation. You know what that means? When you got 3, you don't have 1. Baylor finally got their first win, but their first win was over. Who was it? Long Island, whatever it was.
No.
Oh, yeah. Long Island, 30-7. Long Island.
Long Island.
Okay.
City, huh?
Andy, before you head out, I want to get your thoughts on the KPJ situation with the Rockets. What do you think?
LIU.
What was your initial reaction to when you heard the news? And now that you heard more info, what else have you thought?
The one word that just come up is travesty. It's unfortunate the situation after really multiple opportunities that he's had, not only with the Houston Rockets, but even going back specifically obviously with the Rockets when it comes to being with John Lucas and the resources, the opportunities that they've given him here in Houston. It's unfortunate, but when you look at it from the Rockets' perspective, at this point, it's time to cut their losses. It seems like they're gonna do it, and I mean, potentially, even in the long run, it could benefit the team. Looking at the situation and circumstance, obviously, it's a pending investigation, but the details that have come out are horrifying to hear what has come out specifically when it comes to just the damage that was done with the entire incident. And at the end of the day, Kevin Porter Jr. had his opportunity. He has been unable to stay on the court, and he's just made terrible decisions. And at some point, you got to face the consequences for your actions. And it's unfortunate, but he did it to himself.
Will, you mentioned it Friday in the Let's Talk Houston Rockets show.
Mm-hmm.
For those who missed that, you comment on the situation.
Yeah. My initial response was while unfortunate, I'm not surprised because I've seen this before. He was in Cleveland. He was traded to Houston from Cleveland for a top 55 protected pick, which means they gave him to Houston. A top 55 protected pick because he had worn out his welcome to the nth degree here in Cleveland at the time. Incident after incident, incidents that were reported, incidents that weren't reported. There was a situation with his sister that his sister had an altercation with a young woman, and he decided to throw a punch at another woman at the time in defense of his sister. Situation where he was away from the team all season and returned, and Taurean Prince had been acquired by the Cavs. And because Taurean was playing and Kevin was not, they moved his locker. Kevin showed up first game back and went on a tirade in the locker room. Kobe Altman, who has his own issues right now, but I digress, came in to intervene, and Kevin Porter went on a rant about modernized slavery through a plate of food at said GM. And then shortly thereafter, he was traded to Houston. Yeah. So there's been situations that breadcrumbs, if you will, that have shown, and he got it together just enough to get the bag. He was on his best behavior, it appears, in Houston. And that's what I would imagine led them to sign him to his deal. And when he felt that he had the bag.
But Will, wasn't he involved in something in Miami?
Wasn't it like a club or something?
That was a club issue. Yeah, so that that was before the bag.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but yeah. Long story short, it's unfortunate. Definitely praying for the young lady involved. Praying for Kevin as well. Clearly there's issues there, anger issues, maturity issues. That need to be dealt with. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be dealt with. Hopefully, this is the wake-up call that he not that he needs. Hopefully, this is the wake up call that will cause him to correct his actions thus far going forward. But yeah, I'm unfortunately I'm not surprised.
And that is really the gist that most of the Rocket fans have. They're not surprised. They were disappointed initially, and time to let him go, waive him. Get your thoughts on this. I don't see it happening. But do you think a team will trade for him?
No, absolutely not.
The PR backlash that they will take is unprecedented and will be unrelenting. And this, no.
Agreed.
No.
I agree, and that's why they're gonna have to waive him. So he's going to get $16 million to not play this year. But hopefully he uses that money and that time to get his life together.
I hope so.
I hope so. And hope.
Well,
go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, it's just another incident that I forgot about. That there was a car accident where he allegedly pointed a loaded gun at someone. But I don't know. I feel like I'm piling on at this point. But I hope he does take this time away to find his life and to get his life together.
Yep.
Period.
And hopefully he can do that with basketball away from him. That he lost it. He did it to himself. Look in the mirror. It wasn't anyone else. You've done this to yourself. So get your life together. And maybe somewhere down the line, you can play pro ball overseas. Because I'm not sure he's going to get a chance in the NBA again.
If he couldn't get it, and I hope I'm wrong, I really do. But if he couldn't get it together with John Lucas.
Agree. I mean, he's got numerous chances repeatedly. And you telling us stuff that many of us didn't know that he's done in the past. But the Rockets proved it to a small degree. It only takes one team. It only takes one team 2 years from now. If Kevin Porter Jr. is on the straight and narrow and says, guys, I'll come back for the vet minimum. Just give me a 10-day. Just give me a shot. Just give me a shot. So there might be a team that say, let's do it. Who knows? That could happen because of his potential. He'd be, what is it called in business, in basketball, sports? Low risk, high reward at that point. Yeah. That's what the Rockets front office, that's how they spun it when they acquired him. If he does it, he's top 55 protected pick. That's nothing. If he gets his life together, the talent that he could bring this franchise, could be a steal of a deal. Look at him now. Now fans saying, get rid of him. Good riddance. Just, so that's where he is with that. Andy, if you got to cut out, man, go ahead. If you do, let me know so I can put up your info.
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead.
But no, just appreciate, as always, Kris, for the opportunity. And most importantly, people can find us on Pawd Slama Jama in case they didn't watch the live Let's Rage Coogs show. We even have a clip up there. And of course, you can also hear from head coach Dana Holgorsen and quarterback Donovan Smith after the 36-13 loss against TCU. And we'll be back next Saturday after Houston and Sam Houston State's only 13.5-point favorites, potentially get right. It's either going to be a get right game or it's going to be the bottoming out of the Houston Cougars program. But we'll see. It'll be one or the other, so there'll be something to talk about. If anyone would be interested in being a primary sponsor for this upcoming episode of Let's Rage Cougs, feel free to reach out at letsragecougs@gmail.com. Other than that, Kris, Will, thank you guys for the opportunity, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, man. You take care.
Take care.
Okay. I'm not sure. Well, I want to get your thoughts on this, Mr. Prognosticator, Mr. Visionary,
Okay.
man who could see the future, man who said last Sunday on FTS, saying the last dance in Paris could feature the NBA elite for Team USA, and lo and behold, the next day, Shams Charania reports that LeBron and Steph or KD are trying to put together a super team, and I'm like, I heard that from someone else. So, your thoughts on that, sir?
I think I gotta be careful. I don't want to disparage the guys that went over, but the FIBA World Cup roster showed that you got to send your best. You got to send your best. I mean, Luka, you're sending. I called it the C team. I believe you called it the F team. Someone else called it the F team. I believe it was you, right? That was you that called it the F team.
One of your friends said it first, and I seconded it.
Yeah. You can't send a less than an A team, right? I'll say against the world's best, and the world's best. You know, in '92 and '96, maybe even
those days are over.
Yeah, you can roll the ball out and go. Think about it. This is how serious I would say USA basketball is taken. They train in Vegas. Are they really taking it seriously? You train for 2.5 hours.
That's a good point. Yeah, they train in Vegas. Yeah.
They train in Vegas. I mean, they come together 3 weeks before the tournament. They train in Vegas. They play a couple friendly exhibitions, and then they start the tournament.
Some of them, they struggle in those too.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So I think you got to go back to Jerry Colangelo. The 2 summer commitment. If you want to play, you got to give me 2 summers.
Yes.
You got to do it. And I think this is a step in that direction.
And that's important. And Corey, understand, man. Hope everything's getting better for you.
Yeah, man. Hope you're good, man.
But he's talking about the Buckets. Who y'all play, Corey? I mean, West Kentucky. But it's a win. But they did a thing
this week.
They did something that good teams are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Beat bad teams. Yeah. So let's go back to my point. Another example that the Cougs are not a good team.
Yep.
But Team USA, a 2-year commitment is important. You got to build chemistry. You just can't. As you touched on, you said it. You just can't put together a team in 4 weeks. Roll out the balls. All right, let's go win. Let's go in a goal.
Yep.
And not have guys who can defend in the paint. Because international play, unlike the NBA, they still rely on low post scoring, getting it done on the block. Big men who can score with their back to the basket.
And if you put them on the roster, play them. Walker Kessler.
Really? And especially when you can zone, do different things, and clog up the paint that way. So how was the team assembled? Do y'all have more scouting and video available than me and Will? But we know this. We've seen it in a handful of games to know how international game works. And you putting out guys who Triple J, hey, good defender in the NBA. He can handle these big boys, these grown big men, and no help. And then rebounding. It was like the Team USA was coached by Mike D'Antoni. Who was he coaching the Rockets? Rebounding. I don't care about rebounding.
Right.
Did we score? I mean, how many times did they need to score points? Points per possession, we're ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. All right. Okay.
Right.
Get a rebound about 13, 14. Let's win. On and on and on. Any opponent. That doesn't work. Defense is still important. I know I'm going there, Will.
Uh-oh.
My old school mindset. I know the analytics say one thing, I know it says this, that, and other, and I know 3's more than 2, which obviously it is. But damn it, at some point you gotta stop, folks.
Oh, you cussing now.
You have to stop people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep guys out of the paint.
Yep.
You have to have guys who are capable and willing to keep them out of the paint.
Fact.
Not those, well, he does it sometimes. Well, what is do you want to win a gold or not? That's the goal. I thought that was the objective. If not, just keep doing what you're doing. Tony M turns rebounding. That's how he looks at the Rockets. And I think that could be a problem with the Rockets this season, is lack of rebounding. We will see. Folks who are joining us now on YouTube and Facebook, on Houston Roundball Review, as well as on Folks Talkin Sports, we've touched on the offensive genius of Dana Holgorsen in Saturday's 36-13 loss to TCU, in which the offense, led by Dana Holgorsen, because he's called the plays, Will.
Yeah. But it's not the plays, though.
You're right. Scored 0 offensive touchdowns for the first time since 2014, a span of 109 games. But the play calling, the plan was great. It was the execution was the problem.
So you execute properly by practicing, right? Talk about practice.
Right.
Not the game. We talk about practice.
Right.
Okay. Who leads practice?
Dana Holgorsen.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just checking, because maybe it's me. But if you're telling me it's the execution, it's not the plan, it's the execution, and you rep the plan, and you lead the practice, and you recruited the players that are practicing to execute the plan in the game, but it's not the. All right. I'm just saying.
And see, every so often he sprinkles in, it's my fault. I got to do better. The offense was embarrassing. We might make some changes to the offense. I'm going to look at the film, which should have been done today. So he might make a quarterback change for this coming game against Sam Houston State. Why not? Sam Houston State is now in Conference USA, but it's their first year on the FBS level in the group of 5 coming from the FCS level.
Mm-hmm.
So why not give Lucas Coley a chance at quarterback before going to Texas Tech? But make a decision at QB and stick with it. Because if you go with 2 QBs in a game, you know what that means?
You don't have any.
You don't have any.
We just had that discussion here at Columbus, the first 2 games. It was rotation. It was Kyle McCord. It was Devin Brown. It was Kyle McCord. It was Devin Brown.
Alabama doing the same thing.
Yep.
Oklahoma State doing that same thing.
Yep. And Kyle McCord was then the starter this past Tuesday. He went out yesterday and showed out. He knew he was the starter, and he played as such. So, yeah, I guess. Okay.
And 3 games in, Dana Holgorsen has said, still trying to figure things out. Donovan Smith said post-game that he likes the up-tempo, fast-style offense. He's okay with the methodical offense, but he also likes the up-tempo. Well, if that's your quarterback saying that, speed up the offense.
Yep.
Mr. Offensive Genius, that you're just being offensive lately.
Yep.
Tony M, Corey, D Skills, anybody, the name of anybody this Saturday is Sam Houston State head coach K.C. Keeler. Okay? K.C. Keeler is anybody. And if you're asking, Kris, what are you talking about? Anybody. If it comes down to coaching, Dana Holgorsen versus anybody, I'm taking anybody.
Yep.
And D Skills knows what I'm talking about, because as he said, he's consistent. He take Tom Landry now.
Wow.
So that is the problem. And Clazel, talk about Donovan can't execute up-tempo offense. Whose fault is that? He did it at Texas Tech. Who's coaching him now? Who's in charge?
Well,
this is on the coach, the head coach, and the coaches. I'm not blaming the players. These are college players. They were brought here. They were recruited here. It's up to the coach to put them in position to succeed. It's on the coach.
it is.
Tilman, Chris Pesman, President Couture.
Uh-oh.
Will, President Couture was famous for saying what? A few years ago?
Was it 8-4 coaches fired, right? What was the record? Help me. What was Houston's record last year?
8-5.
Oh, and who's coaching? Who was the coach last year?
Same guy coaching right now.
Oh,
same guy will probably be coaching next year.
Okay.
Which gets back to a point I want to get everybody who's joining us now in the last few minutes. As Andy said, Will said, Coach Prime has been at Colorado how long?
3 games.
Has been coaching on the Power 4, Power 5 level for how long?
3 games.
And what's his record?
3-0.
Dana's been coaching on the power level at West Virginia, and now, how long?
But 13 years? Am I right about that?
More than 3 games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Clearly.
Oh. And yet Dana does not know how to bring in depth or know how to coach depth, coach up talent. Dana had 2 years to get this team ready for the Big 12. And which program has more excitement? I'm not a huge Coach Prime fan. Some things he does, he's too flash for me.
Yeah.
But he's winning. He's getting results. He's bringing attention to his team, himself, but he also gives his players the chance to shine. He doesn't forget about Shedeur, Travis Hunter, Weaver, his receivers, his coaching staff. He put together a hell of a staff. Doug Belk, defensive coach, UH. We see you too. You get a nice check. Your side is kind of shaky too. You've been a Power 5 level for a while, and what are you doing?
His offensive coordinator at Colorado, Sean Lewis, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, was a head coach at Kent State in the MAC here in Ohio.
Where?
In the MAC.
Kent State. What?
Kent State.
That's not another Power 5 program, is it?
No.
Power 5? No, wait.
No. Power Group of 5. It's the MAC.
But Will, how is he winning though? He doesn't have the depth. He didn't have depth then. How's he doing all this stuff in Colorado then? What? I don't understand, Will.
Yeah. He left a head coaching job to become the offensive coordinator who takes a step down, and he's producing. I'm just saying. Yeah, he's producing.
Now imagine what Colorado and Utah will do in the Big 12 next year in football.
Yep.
Okay. UH under Dana, this is who he is. First year, and Will, you said it, Rice came from Conference USA to the American, which UH just left a few months ago. It came down to coaching there. Yeah. Coach Bloomgren, Dana said we weren't prepared in that first half. We overlooked Rice.
So he's telling on himself, basically.
Yes, he's telling on himself. He's still getting those checks, though. So to that end, I don't blame him. I blame the folks who are still paying him to give these excuses.
Yeah.
And this is it right here. Dana
Yeah.
talks like someone who has guaranteed job security.
Yeah.
And I thought about this last night after the loss. Using it, I think it's analogous to free agency, NBA free agency, really. UH overpaid for Dana. It's bad team tax. They overpaid to bring him from West Virginia to UH.
So
They paid a whole lot of money.
Why extending is my question.
Well, in
I
the
know
contract,
why.
yeah,
I know
great.
why.
Kudos to his agent.
Yeah.
You get to a Power 5 conference, you get a raise, and all those things.
Yep.
But the program and the administration needs to realize this. He's lost the fans. He's not. I'm not even winning. Could cure it. You don't have to like Dana. You don't have to like your head coach. There's some fans who don't like their head coach.
Yeah.
But the head coach wins.
Yeah.
Well, Dana is not winning. And I don't see him winning this year in the Big 12. I don't believe he's going to win next year in the Big 12.
Will he be here to win next year in the Big 12?
Unfortunately, I think he will.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I've been told different, but and see, this is the problem. Another problem. These kids knows it, points it out. It's all about Tilman. Tilman still wears, and here's the thing. Tilman made a change with the Rockets in head coach. Steven Silas brought in Coach Udoka. So he's willing to make change. He's willing to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it going to take for him to realize that Dana is not the right person for the job here at UH? See, it wouldn't take long. It took long tonight, but Glazell brought up Tom Herman 2 days in a row. Tom Herman's name been brought up on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Saturday, Let's Rage Cougs. Sunday, folks talking sports. Okay. See, folks don't. And this is the question. How can Tilman, not how, why does Tilman co-sign a loser?
Yeah.
Because, go back to Tom Herman. He taking it back. I think we take it back now. We'll see. I don't know.
I know some things. Never mind. All right.
But it's just why. I know some things too. But why does Tilman continue to co-sign this man?
That's what I don't understand. Where are the pictures? Who got the pictures? Somebody. Anytime I see something like that, I'm like, somebody has some photos. Like, what is it? Set It Off when Cleo in the lineup.
Yeah.
She tapped her like, I guess. Yeah. Who got the photos? Because that's the only explanation I can see. I don't understand.
And Tom Herman, when he was here, flashy. I'm not. Tom Herman could be the guy. I doubt it. But Houston football might need a personality like a Tom Herman or a Coach Prime to bring some shine, some vibe, some life back to the program, even if it's short-lived, 3 years. Because right now, as a lot of fans, Andy said it, fans don't have hope in Dana. They do not believe he's the right man to win and lead Houston in to compete for championships in the Big 12.
Right.
And this is right here. This is true about Tom Herman. He got the entire city behind UH football.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to ask that question. Like, what does he do, Dana, as far as PR, as far as
he drinks his favorite beverage.
Okay, fair enough. Because that was my thing. Like, does he meet does he go to the local Kiwanis clubs or does he meet? I'm being
Right.
You know what I mean when I say
he hangs out where his supporters hang out. So as long as he keeps spending time with them, he's good.
Okay.
And that's the problem, because his supporters live in this insulated bubble, and they think everything's good.
At 1 and 2, okay.
So that's the problem. They think everything's fine. Dana's lack of accountability, whatever. This Dana being Dana. See, these kids, I'm gonna put it up there, put it on him. As long as he buys the expensive drinks, he is good. Because I'll go back to it, and we're going to shut it down in a few minutes.
Yep.
Kelvin Sampson is a hard ass. He's tough-minded, straightforward, brutally honest. He loves his players. He wins. He gets results. He takes care of his players. But as was pointed out last night during Let's Rage Cougs, the pregame hype video it showed before the game, Dana was firing up the team, dropping F-bombs, go show who we are, who the Houston Cougars are. F this, F that. We're going to go out there and kick some. Oh, let's go. Yeah. And then they go out there and do what they did in that first quarter. So maybe he is losing the locker room. And why not? I'm not saying he is, but why not if you're head coach, if you're the players, your head coach is saying, it ain't me. It ain't my fault. We didn't execute. We didn't have the will to win last Saturday against Rice in overtime. If I'm the players, well, coach doesn't believe in us. Coach says we don't have enough depth. Coach does not believe in guys in the locker room. So why am I going out bust my butt for this man? See, here's a problem. This is the issue H-Town brings up, Big Dobbs brings up. Does UH win a Big 12 game this year? Yeah.
Oh, game. Oh,
I think so. Because of the struggles at Cincinnati, the struggles at Baylor, the struggles at other programs. Texas Tech's not looking too good. So the Big 12 football this year is a down year. But next year, think about it, Will. Without the Longhorns, without the Sooners next year, which teams have a great chance as newcomers to come in and shine in the Big 12 next year?
Colorado and Utah.
Yep. And who didn't you say has a chance to shine next year?
Houston. Yep.
That's it right there. That's it. Which goes back to my final point, and we'll shut it down. Thank you to Alan, H-Town, everybody joining us on this episode 109 of FTS. This is a reason why I wanted to get rid of Dana last year.
Clean slate.
Because clean slate, you bring in a new coach with the first year in the Big 12, the fans would understand.
But you know what? I don't even know this for sure, but I'm just looking, he probably sold them on, hey, I've been in the Big 12 before. I did this with West Virginia. I know what it takes. He probably sold them on that.
No, I'm sure he did. And he said that part of his pitch, and he said here locally, and the school spews out. We're one of 5 programs to win at least 20 games the last 2 years and 2 bowl games. The Birmingham Bowl, Independence Bowl. Oh, okay. Ooh. All right. But yeah, I did it. First time in program history, I've done that.
So,
okay.
Do you want to win? And I'm going to go my first world soapbox for a second. So, one of 5 teams to win 20 games and 2 bowl games in the last 2 years, right?
Yep.
So, do you want to win? What was the game last year?
Birmingham Bowl and Independence Bowl. I think those are the 2.
So, all right. So it's Independence Bowl. So do you want to win the Independence Bowl or lose in the national semifinal?
Yeah.
Because if I'm Ohio State lost in the national semifinal. We didn't win a bowl game.
Right.
We lost in the national semifinal, in the Final Four, if you will.
Right.
So we really talking about we won the Independence Bowl? Oh, all right.
But that's what he has said and uses to convince his inner circle that he's getting the job done.
Wow.
They're okay with that. They have lower expectations than the fans do. That's the problem.
Wow. It's crazy.
Because the flip side of it, men's basketball, Sweet 16s, Elite 8, Final Fours, this first year in the Big 12, the team will take some lumps. There might be some fans, boy, we lost 6 times in the Big 12. But you know what the difference will be? The fans believe in Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah.
Coach Sampson has proven his worth and has given them hope that he knows what he's doing and gets results. The fans don't have that in Dana Holgorsen. And that is the problem. And that will continue to rear its head throughout this season. The attendance will dwindle because the losses will start to mount. And Dana will continue to make excuses. Next year will be the year. We're going to add more depth. And he's not doing a great job in recruiting. So how are you going to improve the depth? But that's for another show.
All right.
Another show. And H-Town, y'all know I can talk about women's basketball all day long. All day long.
Wow.
AD should have fired football, baseball. Yep. No arguments for me. No arguments for me because Ronald Huey and Kelvin Sampson were hired the same year. Nothing else needs to be said about that. Willy Gibson.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you the big screen.
Uh-oh.
You got it.
All right, man. Thank you, as always, Kris, for the opportunity. You can find me at Will Gibson 7 on Facebook, as well as Instagram and Threads. Will Knows Sports on IG. Hey, what did I say? Yeah, the crawl is right. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm on the East Coast, and I stayed up and watched Coach Prime last night, so forgive me. At Will Gibson 7 on Twitter, as well as Instagram, and also have on Threads and IG Will Know Sports.
Thank you, my man. I am KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Everyone, D Skills, Tony M, Gazelle Taylor III, Alan Tran, Miss Wanda Polk. Appreciate you chiming in with your comments on the show as always. It's much appreciated. You can find me there on Threads, TikTok, IG, Houston Roundball Review. Spread the word about this show. Spread the word about Folks Talking Sports. Spread the word, please, about the Houston Roundball Review. College basketball practices are around the corner.
Uh-oh.
So keep that in mind, fans. College basketball practices are around the corner. The Cougs preseason game, exhibition game, is October 28th. So keep that in mind as well. The Cougs have an official visit with a big man. Derek Queen is his name. October, I think the second weekend in October.
14th.
Yeah. That one, or maybe the first one. First or second, but he's got a visit.
Yeah.
He's also looking at Indiana, Maryland, and then I think Georgetown, something like that, but no Indiana for sure. But he's part of the same grassroots program that Jarris Walker was part of. So that's him, 6'9", D-E-R-I-K, Derek, last name Queen, Q-U-E-E-N, 6'9", big man, skilled big man, versatile big man. Let's put it like that. And he's a 4-star player, if you're not in those stars. So see, Coach Sampson, that staff, they're bringing in talented players for visits. Talented players want to come to the program. Compare whatever. But anyway, I am KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston. He's from the East Coast Island, I think Baltimore, I think, around there, but something like that. It's not hard to find it, but yeah. And of course, I touched on it, all different kind of stuff. Watch previous shows. I dropped the info about the other young man, 6'5" guard, who was on a visit. And UH did post, he finally did post pictures of his visit on Instagram. Him, another 4-star player. Some staffs get it, some staffs don't, Will. In a nutshell. But as always, thank you to everyone for participating in the discussion here on Folks Talking Sports, episode 109 of the Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talking Sports. In closing, the Houston Roundball Review since 1994. Local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.